Right, so I gotta make my first film review, but what should I review first? Let's freaking do this! Hello everyone and welcome to the very first episode of the Gamebox YouTube channel where I do movie reviews, podcasts and all that shit. Today I will be talking about Batman 89. Batman 89, or just Batman as it was for the time, is a dark superhero action film starring Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton alongside Kate Basinger, Michael Gough, Robert Wall, Pat Tingle and Billy D. Williams, who should have become Two-Face in the original Batman 3. Screw you, Warner Brothers, and your family-friendly bullshit! The plot of this film is, after witnessing the death of his parents back when he was a child, Bruce Wayne disguises himself as Batman fighting crime, but he later comes across Jack Napier, who goes on to become the Joker, who plans to take over Gotham City. The themes that this film deals with is fear and revenge. Fear is shown when the people of Gotham City are scared about their well-being, even turning their backs on each other to go on Joker's side instead of trusting authorities. You know, because we live in a society. Revenge is shown when Jack Napier kills Bruce's parents, which seeks Bruce out for revenge, stopping at nothing until the Joker is finished. I'm not saying dead, because the comic book fanboys will get pissed off at me. The one thing I like about Batman 89 is how director Tim Burton, who is literally a goddamn genius when it comes to creativity, took Batman to a much darker route instead of sticking to a weird comedy Batman skit you could literally see in a comedy superhero pantomime version of Robin Hood. I'm not joking. Instead of setting this in the 80s, or modern time, Burton decided to set it in a noir setting. Somewhere in 1974, I believe it was. I have to go check the wiki. Somewhere in 1947, as people were driving old-fashioned cars, dressing in a fancy way, and the villains are dressing up as mobsters with Tommy guns as you would see on Dead End. That's pretty interesting. I've got to put that on my recommended. I really like this because it gives off a different feeling instead of being set in modern day, which is a small problem with some movies nowadays. Nothing wrong with doing this setting, but I feel like it's being overdone. The ideas Burton had were great, such as the choice of lighting and the camera shots used in this film, especially used when Batman is on screen, such as the scene in the Batcave with Vicky Vale. It just gives off a mysterious vibe with Batman in the darkness and Vicky Vale in the light. The cathedral scene and the scene where Jack Napier becomes the Joker is really great as well when it comes to its lighting. The set design in this movie is super well done. Tim Burton has this thing of having these weird and quirky shapes and designs for his sets. It's just phenomenal. While researching, I found out that he took inspiration from German Expressionism arts and put them into his movies. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, back to the review. Let's talk about the parts that I adore in this movie, such as the set design of Gotham is just so gritty, I love it. The look of the buildings and the way people dress is just so old school and mythical. I kinda wanna live there due to my dark personality. And do I even have to mention that the city was real? Yeah, you heard me. They took the outdoor area of Pinewood Studios in England and they turned it into Gotham City. Hell, there was even a miniature set for some of the shots. But if I had to pick a favourite set, it would definitely be the Batcave. It just gives off a really dark and mystery look to it. It's just so, I just so love it. I wish I were there, sleeping in a bed in darkness with bats. I think I'm going a bit too far, aren't I? Yeah, back to the review. The climax of this film has Joker taking Vicky Vale up the cathedral with Batman on his tail. Lead up is really good, with Gordon and the police trying to enter the cathedral till no avail. I found out in the Making the Batman documentary that this was actually put into the script at the last minute, with Jack Nicholson going to see Phantom of the Opera and pressuring Burton to put this in the climax, which Burton agreed to do. Not gonna lie, the climax gives off a fairy tale vibe, like a knight trying to rescue the princess from a deadly beast. Or just a psychopath. Moving on. I don't know how people are gonna react to when I say this, but I think Jack Nicholson is one of the scariest Jokers put to screen. Don't get me wrong, Heath Ledger played a more intimidating threat to Batman in The Dark Knight, and Jared Leto played a stupid tattooed Joker but was reinvented into a freaking psycho in Zack Snyder's Justice League. But that look on Jack Nicholson's face... I mean seriously, just look at the death scene. Anyways, Jack Napier in this film is part of a group led by Carl Grissom, who at the beginning was the most powerful crime lord in Gotham. But Carl betrays him by sending him to Axis Chemicals to crack a safe which happens to be empty, and calling the police all because he found out that his mistress, Alicia Hunt, was having an affair with Jack. Jeez, man. While there, Jack runs into not only the police, but Batman. He then shoots at Carr and then falls into a pit of acid, and the Joker is born. Oh, and he killed his boss. Payback's a bitch. The Joker's motivation in this movie is to create a toxin mixed with consumer goods and the Smilex chemicals to exterminate the people of Gotham City during the 200th? Did I get that one right? Yeah, I got that one right. 200th anniversary. Oh, and he also tries to get with Vicky Vale and, this line.
Never rub another man's rhubarb.
Not gonna lie, that line's kind of fucking funny. Doing further research on this character, I found out that the inspiration was from The Man Who Laughs, which is really cool, and makes a lot of sense, to be honest.
Boo!
The idea Tim Burton had for making Bruce Wayne was that Bruce Wayne was the mask and Batman is Wayne's true self. Instead of playing the playboy billionaire portrayed in the comics, Bruce in this film is a shy billionaire who is out of touch with reality and prepares to be hidden from the crowd. The guy just wants to be Batman and kick ass. I mean, come on, guys. There's a scene when Joker invades Gotham Square and the way Bruce slowly walks towards the Joker, even getting shot in the shoulder while wearing his batsuit underneath. But of course, this shows that Bruce wants to be Batman in this scene, but when Vicky Vale comforts him, he looks dazed and unaware of himself, showing that he is once again out of touch with reality. It's just great to see this character trying to fit in, but he's just getting shit wrong, like for example, sitting at the far end of the table from Vicky Vale. Michael Keaton actually studied bats and invented the "I'm Batman" line, which we'll get to in a bit, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The only thing I can get off of this interpretation of Bruce Wayne is that he prefers to be hidden from the public. Bruce's motivation in this film is pretty much trying to find the killer of his parent, which sounds a little basic, but I love it. I hear many people complain about Joker having more screen time than Batman, which is a fair complaint, but I think it not only adds creepiness to the character of Batman, but also makes him mysterious.
You're just saying that so you can defend this movie, aren't you?
Well, actually, no I'm not, and if you think that, I will haunt your dream. The reason why I think it works is because I've always seen Batman as this intimidating hero not spouting out dialogue. Don't get me wrong, Batman can work if he was given more to say, but Michael Keaton was the one who actually minimalizes dialogue. Because originally, writer Sam Hamm gave Batman more to say, but Michael Keaton removed some of the lines to add more to the creepiness. Back to Michael Keaton inventing the "I'm Batman" line, it was originally meant to be "I am the Knight," but Michael Keaton decided to go with "I'm Batman" because it sounded a little bit more easier or basic. I remember reading a couple of articles that people sent 50,000 letters protesting over Keaton's casting, which is one, unbelievable, and two, the funniest thing in the world, because every time people get butthurt over a casting choice, they are proven wrong. Except for that. The funniest part of them all was when Keaton told the people to keep sending them letters.
You just tell me no, baby. So just keep those cards and letters coming.
That's what I'm gonna say when people get upset with me being casted as 3030 Spider-Man. Can we move on to the Batsuit now? The Batsuit in this film is great, and how Michael Keaton performed in the suit is just mind-boggling. Keaton said that the suit was stiff, especially the Batcowl, which also made him deaf. Keaton also said that he took his discomfort to the suit and put it towards his performance. Just the way Batman moves just looks creepy, especially him not being able to turn his neck. But of course, there are things that just don't sit well with me in this movie, like for example, Batman not being in the movie as much, Vicky Vale just being the basic damsel in distress who does nothing but scream, but thankfully she isn't the worst one. But she does have some interesting scenes then and there. Some of the dialogue can be a bit corny, and there are some scenes that just felt a bit weird, like this. I do wish we would have gotten a little bit more action from Batman. I mean, hell, fuck the dialogue, just make him fight, be more intimidating. Another thing I'm not a fan of is the re-release, giving the lighting a more bluer colour. Look, to me, it just doesn't really work, because I personally liked it when it had the original lighting, but with the blue, it just doesn't look right. I mean, Spider-Man 3 had different lighting from the other two movies. I don't know, it's just weird. Now I know that there are hardcore fans out there that will say shit like, Batman doesn't kill, even though he carried a gun at the start of his comic book run. No matter who wrote it or how long ago it was, at the end of the day, he still did it. I also found out that a lot of people didn't really like the idea of Joker being the killer of Batman's parents. I never really gave a single shit. I thought it was fine, honestly. In conclusion, Batman '89 is a really great film, and if you are a Tim Burton fan, or just a Batman fan in general, then I would recommend this movie. Hell, I would even recommend the silent film version. Overall, this movie gets a 4 out of 5 stars for me. Thank you all for watching this review, and I hope you enjoyed your stay. By the way, if you have the Batman '89 novelization, please DM me on my Instagram, I'll leave it in the description below. Okay, bye.